Birla, your host and dost in nature. And well, we are not far from nature at all. We are right here in nature, in the middle of the city, with this amazing avian resident of Lokhandwala Lake in the western suburbs of Mumbai. Good morning to the Eurasian Moorhen, one of our most reliable residents here that we can always hope to watch at Lokhandwala Lake. I'm sure many of you all have seen this bird in our previous live streams as well, the Eurasian Moorhen or the common moorhen. And today morning as well, it is very much present and giving its attendance. And I've talked about this bird in our previous live streams as well. Belongs to the rail family. And even though the name suggests Eurasian moorhen, so is it a migrant? Well, not exactly. This is a resident in many of the wetlands across India. You can always see it throughout the year. Of course, they do locally migrate depending on conditions. So supposing the water goes down, such as in a rain-fed lake like this, then they might migrate locally to different areas. But otherwise, you can see them quite well. And here in this morning today too, they are not very far from us, though at some distance. So that's why the bird is comfortable enough to be feeding. And I'm just trying to follow it because of course it's on the move now, right now. And there's a little more bird activity today morning. I have another friend here, I think I can show you, which will be a new species for today's live stream. Let me just pan to it. I hope it doesn't fly off because it's quite close. Meanwhile, I'll just pan myself. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. I'm going to try and show you another bird which is also fairly close by. It's quite in the open and without any cover, so I'm a little afraid that it'll fly off as soon as I put the lens on it. But okay, let's see. All right, my friend. Hello, hello, hello. Oops. Okay, since it's quite close, I have to adjust the focus a little bit. It's a different focal plane. And I think I'm somewhere close by to the bird. It's so close. Oops, one to the left. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I think it should be there. There we go. Okay, it's so close. It's filling the frame. Alright, let me just see. Alright, it's so close, guys. In fact, that I will not even fit the frame. So I'm just going to show you the head. Say hello to the Indian pond heron. And one of the closest looks of the birds that we've got so far on this live stream. This too is a resident of many of India's wetlands. In fact, they are very, very adaptable. You will see them not just in freshwater lakes like these. You will often see them in other areas as well. Sometimes in everywhere in the city, literally. You can see them on the roads, in the gutters, in the nalas, even in the forest. So literally every habitat that exists, I've seen Indian pond herons usually there. Even on coastal areas near the beaches, they'll be around. So extremely adaptable species. And like I mentioned, they are also fairly adaptable in looking at prey and food in each of those specific habitats as well. Now, they are what you can say a natural fish catcher, a natural fisherman, but they will feed on a lot of other things as well. Sometimes on refuse, garbage that is thrown, any organic matter. So they are fairly adaptable omnivores as well that will feed on a variety of other food sources too. Primarily, of course, it is a carnivore and a fish hunter, but it will feed on other sources as well. And it is so close here that it is actually barely fitting the frame. I told you that the setup we have is actually catered for high zoom, and well, we have the bird quite close today, so I can just show you the head. But yeah, and we have other birds as well. There's a little more bird activity today morning because I think the sun has come out, so you can see some more birds as well. Okay, I'm gonna check because I've been told that there were lag issues on the stream. Is it going through properly?
Yeah, now it is going through starting.
Okay, there were a bit of lag issues in the morning, guys, when I started. I think it should be okay now. If you are still facing lag issues, that means my voice is not very clear, or the picture is pixelating, or it is just a series of pictures and the video is not playing smoothly, just let me know. Alright, so that's the Indian pond heron, fairly close to me. It's actually sitting on a thermocol box, and it's pretty calm and sedate. And like we've put up a reminder today, a notification today, that you can interact live with us while we are actually streaming this. This is the beauty of live streaming, that you can interact with us while we are here in the wilderness. Alright, few birds that I see. Let me just see what all I can show you. Okay, so I think I'm going to show you our friend next who is drying his wings, him or her, because again, like I had mentioned last time, some of the males and females in the species can be quite difficult to differentiate, but there's one more bird here sitting quite calmly, and this one's flown off. Excellent. So lots of birds today morning, I think, and in fact some new ones that we had not seen on previous live streams. So I'm going to go to another bird. Just going to adjust the angle a little bit. Okay. Alright. Now again, this bird is at a higher distance, so we'll have to adjust the focus again. And I'm just going to pan to the bird. Probably zoom out a little bit as well because, oh, I'm looking for a friend. There he is. Just let me adjust the focus on this guy. And we meet our friend, the little cormorant, this morning, doing what it does best. Actually, it was drying its wings right now, but right now it's just preening, keeping its feathers clean. Let me just bring it in the center of the frame for you guys. There we go. Focus is always tricky on these long distances, so I'm just trying to make sure the bird is as sharp for you as possible. Right. So yes, that's another resident that we see of this lake today, the little cormorant. And though it looks like a duck, it is not a duck, does not belong to the family of ducks, but is in fact in its own unique family. And many of you all know the little cormorant. हिंदी में इसको काफ़ी बार पन का हुआ हम कहते हैं. So very common residents, very widespread. Often wherever there's going to be a good amount of water, you will almost always see the species here in India. And this particular one, the little cormorant, because there are in fact 3 species of cormorant that you can see in India, is particularly the most abundant in most locations in India. And I can tell you that this is not the only little cormorant that is here. Hi Aarti, good morning. Good to hear that it's clear. Thank you so much. And very, very good morning to you as well, Saurabh. Yes, good to connect after a long time. I'm going to be trying some new things today on the live stream as well. Let's see on how those things work out. Just let me quickly open this up. I do want to interact with you all live today, so I also want to in fact highlight some of the things that even you would be sharing on the live stream. So I'm going to try and do that as well. Just one moment. Meanwhile, you all can enjoy the view of this little cormorant while I set that up. And of course, if you have any questions in the meanwhile, anything you'd like to ask, anything you'd like to share about bird watching, please do share that. Like I mentioned, I am looking to be sharing some of the things that you will be sharing on the live stream as well. You'll see how we do that in just a moment. The little cormorant continues to preen. And just gonna be okay. Just one moment, guys. Live stream is going through properly. Alright, our friend the little cormorant is having a nice time preening. Meanwhile, I'm also going to have a look around if there are going to be some other birds that we can see as well. Right, I think I can see something there. It's our friend the purple swamp hen at quite a distance, who we have been seeing almost every live stream. It's also come out in the open, though at quite a distance from us. Not as close as the little cormorant. And I've actually set up the location today in a slightly different place from where I am usually. So that has allowed us to at least see two more species we don't normally see in the live stream, which was the little cormorant, which we are looking at right now, and the Indian pond heron. So yes, thank you, Saurabh. Glad you are enjoying the stream as well. I hope you are enjoying this look into Mumbai's urban biodiversity. You can even enjoy, while in the city, you can enjoy the wilderness. It's not very far if we just know where to look. And some interesting things going on with those grey swamp hens. They seem to be in some sort of a territorial display. I'm going to see if I can try and there you go. Oh, it's not. Oh, in fact, it's interesting. Right, I'm going to pan there because there's some interesting drama going on there. Let me just quickly pan to them. Just one second, guys. There's some interesting drama going on at a little bit of a distance from us. I'm going to have to find the birds because they're quite far, but let's see if I can get them. There's some interesting things going on there. And let me quickly flip the camera. Right, they should be somewhere around here. And come on. Where are you guys? There we are. Okay, so I was seeing this purple swamp hen and this Eurasian moorhen have a little bit of a fight. Now they've actually separated a little bit. And wow, look at that. You can see the purple swamp hen is now completely out of the water. You can see those long legs of it. It's on the move, so I'm staying with it. So the focus will be a little unclear. But yes, there you go. Let me see if I can give you guys a closer look as well at the purple swamp hen. Just one moment. There we go. It's because it's on the move, that's why I've had to follow it. But there, it's moving to our left. So I'm staying with it. It's at a very large distance from us, this bird, much farther than the little cormorant that I just showed you. And like I said, this too belongs to the family of rails, similar to the Eurasian Moorhen. And that's why they have some common features as well, including that frontal shield, the red beak, and that patch of skin callus that actually goes right up to its forehead. And it's gone outside the frame again. And I'm just following it. Well, birds don't always stay still. This one certainly isn't. It's having a good run today morning. Looks like it's out for its morning jog. Oops, sorry about that. And yes, back to feeding. So the grey-headed swamp hen or the purple swamp hen, I would say the purple swamp hen is still a better name for it if you ask me. But unfortunately now the species has been split, so each one of them needs a different name, even though the features can be extremely subtle. Comments will be coming on the Facebook group, Facebook page and YouTube. So I'm just looking at this bird again. Alright, it also seems to be fairly busy with its feeding, this one. So most of these birds are today morning. And it keeps going behind that reminder that I put. Okay, we have the Eurasian Moorhen again, which is quite close. I want to show this to you guys because I think we'll get it in a bit of a better quality. Just one moment, let me flip the camera. Alright, so we have the Eurasian Moorhen or the common Moorhen, which is quite close now. So I'd like to show that to you guys because it's close. We should see it in good detail. Whoa. And where are you, my friend? Should be somewhere here. Go. Come on, I know you're here somewhere. Again, what happens is when the bird gets too close, it can be a little hard to track. The ones which are far are relatively easier. The ones which are close are a little more problematic. I'm just trying to get a fix on the location of this bird. Just one moment. And I'm not quite able to get a fix on this one. Okay, I think I should get it right now. Come on. Okay. And I'm finding out to my misfortune this morning that the birds which are closer are a little hard to get on our setup. And I'm not quite able to lock on. Finally. As I mentioned, the bird was very close, so you can see it completely filling the frame, and you can see it in good detail as well. That is why I was it was a little difficult to get this bird, but we have it now, so we'll stay with it. And because it is filling up the frame, I'm going to have to keep panning with it. But yes, the Eurasian Moorhen or the common Moorhen, fairly dainty bird like I mentioned, and here you can now really see those features that I talked about, the yellow bill and that frontal shield, the red skin, that red callus, the frontal shield that these family of birds possess. And like I mentioned, the primary purpose of this is for breeding purposes, because what has been noticed is in many of these birds, that red patch of skin or that red callus or the red frontal shield, how you'd like to call it, actually gets a little swollen up during the breeding season, which likely indicates that this is a type of territorial display or a show of dominance. And like I told you, very different feeding style from the grey-headed swamp hen, which pulls out vegetation. This one just kind of, taps the surface, looking for small insects, invertebrates, perhaps even feeding on a little bit of the vegetation. As I told you, many of the birds you see in this wetland are in fact omnivores. They will feed on a variety of food sources. There's no pure vegetarians or pure non-vegetarians here. So wherever there's a food source, it's good. And you can see this one having a good time feeding, and like I said, fairly close to us, so that's why we can actually show it to you, pretty much filling up the frame. All right, so yes, the common moorhen today, pretty relaxed, nice and close, in good detail. Nathan? Okay, we have another bird as well. Oh, and a lesser whistling teal, wonderful. It's gonna fly right next to us and whoosh, goes right past us. You might have heard it as well. And we have a white-breasted water hen also, but again very close. These birds are way too close, I can't even show them. In fact, it's just approximately 2-3 steps. I'm sorry, I forgot to see that the moorhen has gone outside the frame. My attention was caught by a white-breasted water hen, which is just a few steps away from me. Unfortunately, too close to show. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip back and hello, and I think I'm going to focus on another bird which is also there and quite still, and I think we should be able to see it in good detail. Alright, let's pan. All of these birds are in different focus planes, so we have to be changing it up all the time. But yes, that's the bird I was telling you about. Perhaps you all can also tell me what this bird is. I'm just going to adjust the focus a little bit again. Right, so that's our third species for the day so far, an egret, and look at the way it walks so stealthily, just quietly lifting its legs. Let me just bring it to the center of the frame. So lucky to be seeing birds like this. Now perhaps you all can actually tell me what this bird is. Many of you all will recognize this as an egret, but can you all tell me which species of egret this is? And that is significantly harder, because there are a variety of egret species and some of them do look very, very similar to each other. So there are a few key features that actually help in differentiating between the egret species that you actually see here. One of the most reliable features to actually differentiate on a, more of a universal level or a global level is the size of the bird. So there are smaller egrets, there are larger egrets. This is one of the larger egrets. So that will narrow it down for you. Once that's narrowed down, you have two species which you are likely to see here in the larger egrets. One is the great egret, which is the tallest of them or the largest of them. And the other one is the intermediate egret, which, well, you can see a little cormorant in the background there. I don't know if you all can actually see that. Moving just behind that grass as well. It's dived inside the water. This one is hunting. The egret is definitely looking for something. So yes, to get back to our discussion, the intermediate egret and the great egret. Now it gets a little more subtle. The features that differentiate the two species can be somewhat difficult to appreciate at a distance, and even though I am showing this bird to you as a full frame, it might be actually difficult to tell the difference between the two species. But as I am looking through the binoculars, which have got an advantage of giving me a slightly clearer view, I am able to notice a couple of things which are very, very subtle. First is the neck of the bird. It's a little thicker than what is usually expected of the great egret. Just a little bit thicker, very, very difficult to tell, but it's very subtle. And well, now it's trying to catch something for sure. There, you saw it, just pounce on something, and may even have caught something, I'm not sure. Perhaps a small insect or a crustacean. Look at that, wow. Furling its feathers. Yes, so there is something called the gape or the gape line. That is a small part, that is a part of the bill which starts to extend below the eye. It's a line, a thin line, and usually if it is not going beyond the eye and the neck is a little thick in this non-breeding plumage of this egret, it's likely to be an intermediate egret. Of course, bird watching is also about opinions. Though one can be aware of the features to look for in the bird, sometimes even with that knowledge, you may have different people having a different opinion on the bird. Alright, so our friend the egret is gone. Let me just pan back to me. Oh, in fact, he's not gone. He's just come a little to the left. I'll pan back to him. One moment. Whoa. Don't go. Alright. So our friend the intermediate egret is on the move, and I think is on the lookout for food. And yep, there, oh, it's got a fish. Amazing, can you see that? Wow, this is brilliant. Look at that, guys. It has caught a fish. Just going to get the focus adjusted for you guys. There you can see. Wow, look at that. How about that? We are witnessing a natural history moment here on live stream. It's caught a fish. And look at that, the fish, you can see it struggling a little bit. It was struggling initially. I think it gave it a good shake, and now I think it is about to become its next meal. Dips it in the water again. Oh, drops it. How about that? And catches it again. I think it has, again it drops it. This is really interesting. And again catches it. This is fascinating behavior, guys. We are very lucky to see something like this on a live stream. Look at that. Again, it dropped the fish thrice now, and this is the fourth time it's caught the fish. Is it going to slip again? This is amazing. And it seems to have got a better hold. It's going to slip again. This is amazing. Oh, we have a little bit. Oh, it's finally gulped it down. On its fifth attempt. This is absolutely amazing, guys. What a pleasure to see something like that on our live stream. Well, we have a little bit of rain coming in. So the egret is doing some rather interesting things. I don't think the rain's going to last very long because we do have somewhat of a clear sky. So hopefully it'll go away. But that was epic to actually to see a natural history moment. Did you see that? It actually, while we were watching it, it actually came up with a kill. It was hunting, and we saw it hunting. How brilliant is that? We can see something like that in the city. So brilliant. So I don't know how many of y'all caught that moment, but that was absolutely amazing to see on a live stream, an actual hunt and a kill by a bird while we were live streaming. And this is a wonderful natural history rhythm that you actually experienced while we were on live stream. Now we saw that this egret was in fact in the mood to hunt, so we were following it because even in the morning I told you, once you start noticing behavior from a bird, it can be rather interesting to actually follow them. So this egret is still on the hunt, so that's why I'm going to stay with it for a while. I don't think it's quite done, so I'm going to stay with it, and seems to keep kind of hopping off, and yeah, interesting, just hopping from patch to patch. Look at that, not even running, not even walking, hopping. How many of y'all have seen an intermediate egret do that? Not fly, not walk, but hop. And a little bit of rain comes in. I'm going to stay because I think this should be just a passing shower. Trying to do something with the comments today, but I'm having to be a little bit careful because of the rain. And you can see it's raining in the background as well. And well, the egret still hops, doesn't fly. So I'm just going to pan back to it. But yeah, it's raining. We have a little bit of cover. And it is coming a little heavy now. Okay, the rain's gotten a little heavier. We actually have somewhat of clear sky, so it's interesting to get this sort of rain. Hello. Even though the skies are sort of clear.
Hello.
And our friend the egret is continuing to hunt actually at this time. You can see that.
Hello.
And off it goes again, hopping, hopping, hopping. Maybe looking for a... Oh, hello, another egret. Hoping this is going to go away, but there's a possibility it may continue as well.
I am going to
I was not expecting rain today. But we've had a little bit of rain come in, and I'm actually trying to decide. The egret is still around, so I can at least show you the bird, but in fact many of the birds which were out in the open have now retreated back inside because of the rain. And it seems to have slowed down just a little bit, but the weather is starting to look a little more ominous again. The skies have closed in, the clouds have come in, so the light in fact has also gone down. I'm looking at a purple rumped sunbird. Yes, you can see a small purple rumped sunbird as well that has just come in. It's hidden behind a patch of foliage, so can't really show it to you. And the egret is starting to move out of view. All right, so guys, what we'll do is we'll try and lap up the live stream today. We've had a bit of a seasonal weather disturbance, so we'll wrap up the live stream here today because many of the birds have flown in as well because of the rain. And we'll probably see if we can take this up either tomorrow or day after. Okay guys, thank you for tuning in on the live stream, and I hope to keep bringing you visuals of the urban biodiversity of Mumbai in our next live streams as well. Take care guys.